Man, not even here. So as you, but boy, you see this thing. The thing is all popping, boy. What you got here? Easy herbs.
Was it rolling?
Yeah, it's rolling, boy. So easy herbs. Solution based to mental health. You know, like I said, I could have delved in. Actually, it's gonna be a part 2 anyway. So I don't think it's gonna be. I'm gonna do a disjustice to this presentation. You get it? So the concept of psychobiotics, you know, dealing with mental health, easy herbs presentation. You know, this is information that is exclusive. You get it? You know what I mean? So especially for our community, you know, unless you can show me a herbalist or science or people that delve into science, pulling out sources like or presentations like this, psychobiotics, yeah. Psycho, obviously, doing mental health. Biotics, it's a form of microorganisms, yeah. So we're gonna go straight into it. Make sure you like and subscribe. This content, you know, this information I do for you, bro. Hey, look at that. You got hella noise in the background, bro. Yeah, bro. But yeah, cool. So we go straight into it though. Easy herbs, you know, OE in the building. Acid is gonna pop out. You're gonna probably miss the whole presentation, but you know how it goes.
Man's gonna hack you, but
no, straight you, man. No, this guy.
Yeah, but it don't matter though. You're gonna take the time anyway.
Man still here. Should have done 10 minutes ago.
All this time as well.
Gear up takes part, man.
Gear up, you know.
Are you going at the back before we start though?
Why taking everything with you though? Well, don't worry.
No, the water looks clean, man.
Oh.
Yeah, brother. Hey, listen, eating up my time, fam. So we go straight into the definition or define or just the understanding of exactly what we're going to be talking about today, yeah? So my brother Oti's with me, so we're going to break it down, you know. If I can make him understand, there should be no exclusive for the people then. You get it? So what you doing? I said, yeah or not?
Yeah, man.
Alright,
Keep the door open or shut?
Nah, leave it open. Leave it open. You got at the you got at the back, aren't you? Yeah, boy. So yeah, as you can see, you got psychobiotics. Psychobiotics defined as probiotics, yeah, that defer to mental health benefits to the host when ingested in a particular quantity through the interaction with the commensal gut bacteria. So this is introducing good bacteria into what you already have, which is the commensal gut bacteria. This is your microbiome, which is this harbors in what you call the large and small intestines. Yeah, this is where most of our bacteria harbors, and probiotics is just introducing more specific bacteria to that region. You know, so the endocrine system we're going to be speaking about. Endocrine system is a special system, yeah, which is the glands and organs. So there's a pathway that leads you to all the glands and organs that makes hormones and releases them directly into the bloodstream so they can travel to the tissues and organs of all over the body. Yeah, so the endocrine system is still part of, like, you know, when we deal with the brain, etc. When we're talking about the embryo and how it develops in your brain, in the womb, we go through that neural tube. The neural tubes basically creates what you have, the prosencephalon, the mesencephalon, and the rumpencephalon. The rumpencephalon turns into your telencephalon, diencephalon. The mesencephalon stays the same. The rumpencephalon turns into your metencephalon and your myelencephalon, and then it turns into what you have now as your cerebral cortex, and you got the frontal lobe, brainstem, and etc. Yeah, check out my other videos if you want to go a little bit deep into the understanding of how your brain developed. Check it out, Easy Herbs. You get it? So now we jump into what we have now, because this is like a form of different forms that the microorganisms travel through. So it's another form or pathway. It's called a gut-brain axis. Yeah. We're talking about the pathway that the communication of your microbiome travels all the way and signaling all the way up to your brain and etc. Yeah, it said the brain-gut axis is the two-way biochemical signaling that takes place between the gastric intestinal tract and the central nervous system. So this is how it travels around to your body. This is the content of the discussion or the presentation that I'm having right now. You get it? So, bing bang. Okay, mental health now. We go to the Oxford Dictionary about mental health as well, to just have a perspective and an understanding, because a lot of people have a
like different definition of mental health.
Exactly, and it aspects is a summary of many parts, and this kind of breakdown a little bit. There's gonna be many sources. Eazi is gonna do freestyle over this the content of what I know about mental health. So the definition is a person condition regarding their psychology and emotional well-being. So it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just regarding someone's emotional or psychology well-being, mental health. So you can define that in something that's positive, and you can also define that as something in negative. But the different types of mental health problems now you have is anger, which you know that we all have, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar disorder, body dysmorphic disorder, borderline personality disorder, depression, eating problems, which is highlighted, hearing, voices, hypomania and mania, loneliness, obsessive compulsive disorder,
OCDs,
paranoia, personal disorder, phobia, postnatal depression, and perinatal mental health, traumatic stress disorder, psychosis, schizoaffective disorder, schizophrenia, season also is schizoaffective disorder, and schizophrenia. This is probably different ranges of different seasonal affective disorder, self-harm, self-esteem, stress, suicidal feelings, trauma, mood disorder. Yeah, so this is all under the summary of mental health, you know, but the problems.
Yeah. I spot a few of them that somebody's got.
So there's a lot, man. I think a lot of people, like even us, like we go through certain things that is considered, you know, but there's a lot of boxes that need to be ticked to be labelled or be what do you call it again?
There'll be like a lot of people that suffer from something from there.
Facts.
Many
anger, depression, anxiety,
you know, PTSD,
paranoia for the man I'm on road. You get me?
Suicidal things. I know somebody mentioned that to me the other day.
Yeah, so there's levels to it, and mood disorders, you know?
Mood swings, all them things there.
Self-esteem, as you know, so you know when you're feeling low.
Mental health for galore, boy. Trust me, living with that, bro.
It's a mad thing. So yeah, man, this is a prep. But like I said, Eazi her deals with solution based, so everything that I'm gonna hear, I'm just gonna enlighten you with the information, and then I'm gonna give you some type of solutions to do with it. I know why this brother's still there. But yeah, so we go into it. Look, so the main causes of mental disorders, yeah? The causes of mental disorders is very large. Like I said, not everything is on there is what I put down. This is a presentation that I created. You know, I could have spent a little bit more time just to define it a little bit more and be a little bit more specific in what I need to be talking about. But this has to be done now. A lot of people's going through it, conversations about it. So this is what Eazi does. This is what Eazi does. Creates presentations. He actually takes his time to create what he's doing now. Everything is here, it's written out of sources and etc. Yeah. So just appreciate what Eazi does for the community. You know. But the causes of mental disorders, is very large, where there is internal and external factors that contribute to the trigger of mental health. Genetic factors, external experiences, for example, abuse and stress, brain injury. So like we spoke about today, that's a form of mental health that we have to discuss. A lot of people go through it. We go through like the street life, the road life. We go through many beefs where we have so much impact, like how the boxers.
Oh yeah,
boxers like Muhammad Ali is one of the examples. You know, the great fighter that gone through a lot of trauma to his head, brain injury.
Blows in the head.
So you know, and as we know for a fact, we're going through that as we speak. You know, personal issues, man, you get it. So it's definitely a lot. The exposure of viruses or toxic chemical during childbirth. Yeah, like I was explaining about how the neuron develops. And the primitive gut. So when we're talking about the vagus nervous system and the enteric nervous system, and even up to the brain, the gut-brain axis, this is all a pathway that has been created out of what you call the primitive gut. the primitive gut is the same simultaneously created with the neural tube. So how your brain develops, the primitive gut develops. And this is the pathways that leads from the brain, as we know, all the way down to your spinal cord, which ends up being your central nervous system and your peripheral nervous system. With the primitive gut, we have all your organs come from. All the organs come from what you call the primitive gut, and it's called a primitive gut. So it's like your gut is the origin of all your organs.
Making that, yeah.
So your gut has the link and is the birth
Of all the other organs.
of all your organs. So again, bacteria has to be present.
Yeah.
So I forgot to go live for the people that wanted to listen and do a live, but yeah, we're gonna chop on. I'm gonna go live right now. People are gonna be a little bit pissed. We were wanting to see the presentation, but yeah. So that's why the understand. That's why I keep on stressing. I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I can't stress the factor of knowing history or the origin of life and how it corresponds with current affairs. I don't talk history, or history shouldn't be looked at as of past affair, and it can't contribute to foreign affairs. You get it? Yeah. And that's what it is. It's like, to understand where we're going, history has to be involved.
Yeah.
And it goes directly into the to the health category, you know. So that's why I always talk about the cyanobacteria, I talk about the origin of life and etc., because it plays a crucial role in solution based into a lifestyle that we live in now. Yeah, so I don't know, we dropped into exposure of viruses and toxic chemical during childbirth. Drugs and abuse can cause, and you know, alcohol, conditions like cancer can also trigger mental health disorders. So again, we're talking about abnormal cells and environments that our body is in. Yeah, social and having negative people associated in your life, loneliness or isolated can cause mental health disorders. Negative environment, you know. Bad mind people just there, that's just gossip or whatever, but that don't contribute or help out into your lifestyle. They can add on to the problems in your mental health. Mental illness can be caused from hormones imbalance.
Yeah.
So we talk about genetics, external, brain injury, exposure to viruses, talking about hormones imbalance, and then so external, the people around you, external influence you putting into your body, impact, viruses, internal, things enter into your system. Genetics could be altered by internal and external health, abuse and stress. So we got 1, 2, external, and external. And the rest of it is in a form of external. So it's in a form that it's in a form of something entering
that can cause that, yeah.
Or something, something that's entering that can cause you a mental disorder. So we're gonna talk about all of that. So it's like there ain't too many factors external that can create these problems. It's more internal.
Yeah.
And what you put into your dietary, like cancers, etc. Yeah. So we're going more. I just want to make that clear, because people, when it comes to these type of concepts, no one talks about health in the dietary aspect
and how that can affect it.
Exactly. So that's where our Eazi pulls out a source, and we're gonna talk through it, and then we can break it down. So this source here, you can find it, neuroscience, the brain and the common psychiatric disorders. So as a biology seat of mental life, the brain is a center stage in the investigation of what causes causes and characterize mental disorders. The root of the various conditions defined by the medical field of psychiatric is such as major depression, schizophrenia, generalizing anxiety disorders are still not well understood. Further, individuals who share a psychiatric diagnosis do not necessarily have the identical condition. They may have some symptoms in common, but not others. It would be too simple to describe a uniform depressed brain, or schizophrenia brain. So, as you know, that they haven't fully understood exactly what goes on. Everything can be characterized into one box.
Two people having the same thing, it's not like it's in common. It could be two different things that happen to make them like that. Exactly.
So it's not really one solution or one course, you know. So when it goes, psychiatric disorders and brain disease. Psychiatric disorders are disorders of the brain in the sense that dysfunctional thoughts and behavior are involved in enabling the brain, as all thoughts and behaviors are. The neuroscientist examining the structure and the function of particular parts of the brain and found various differences. On average, people who have psychiatric diagnoses are those who do not. However, the fact that the particular brain abnormalities are associated with these disorders does not necessarily mean that they're the cause of the development of disorders. In case of conditions such as stroke or Huntington disease, which are largely treated by neuroscience and other professionals outside psychiatry, the biological progressions of the condition is relatively well understood given the current lack of understanding of the disorder. In the case of the condition such as, we read that bit there. Given a lack of understanding of biological roots and psychological disorder, the absence of clear biomarkers of the diagnostic and other reasons, some question the idea that they should be called brain diseases. Importantly, the factor underlying mental health disorders and etc. What else? The main include. These may include sources of stress. So I'm talking about external forces. Yeah, stress is an addition about biological causes such as composition of the microbiome in the digestive system.
So external things, and then the microbiome can cause mental health disorders in the person.
Exactly. So I'm gonna make that clear there. The last part of the moment, the last part of the sentence is, importantly, the factors underlying mental health disorders extend beyond the innate differences between the brain of people with or without disorders. These may include external sources of stress as well as additional biological causes such as a composition of the microbiome in the digestive system. So this is a neuroscience source that talks about the psychiatric disorders, and they're mentioning the microbiome in the digestive system.
So all them things there that can affect it.
Exactly. These may include external sources and an internal or such biological causes such as a composition. So a misorder of your gut bacteria in the digestive system. That can't occur unless you have external,
like you're putting something
into your dietary. So this is just the source that this is like, I know, like I said, I rushed the thing, but this source is gonna aid into the whole point of the presentation. The whole point of the presentation is psychobiotics. We're talking about the micro gut bacteria within your colon that can get influenced by dietary, that helps and causes what you call mental disorders. Okay, this same source talks about what are some of the ways that the brain differs in people with depressions. Studies of individuals with major depressive disorders have identified low grey matter. Now we're talking about the brain. Grey matter volume in the number of the brain areas relatively to those without depression. So this is how they can decipher. So now it's not in thin air, you know. This is how scientists do their scientific research. They understand that, as it says, lower grey matter. Grey matter is a part of your brain. This is where the soma of the neuron is held. Yeah. So grey matter, as you can see, I'm gonna carry on read it, and we're gonna speak a little bit more. Yeah. So they actually understand and actually vision the process of being depressed within the brain area, because they realize that the low grey matter volume is in those areas. Yeah. So these include parts of your prefrontal cortex. So they know what exactly where
Which area around that?
Yeah, the frontal lobe. That's where it deals with the exclusive functioning. You know, definitely check out the Eazi Herbs Breaking Down the Brain, because he talks about all of this. So like, I don't want people to think that I'm just reading it and not understand exactly what's going on. So important. Look, the prefrontal cortex important for decision making and cognitive control. The hippocampus, which deals with short-term memory and etc., and the entire Senegal cortex, and others. There is also evidence of a higher degree of folding in the cortex in certain areas and lower white matter integrated in others. So we understand that's why this is very important. Yeah, to understand what grey matter and white matter is and how it contributes to your brain functioning. People with depression has also shown a functional brain differences in studies, such as a reduced activation in a brain area which is the striatum. When the anticipate of receiving a reward. I might have pronounced that wrong. Anticipating or receiving a reward. Other research has reported a typical connectivity between some brain structure and the levels of activity in the brain network called the frontal limbic network and the default mode network. Networks of that's what default network called the frontal limbic network and the default mode network. Active when the brain is disengaged from activity or stimulation. Widely used antidepressant medication boosts the presence of the neurotransmitter serotonin in the brain. And the other roles such as chemicals and depression have long been of interest. But depression is not believed to be caused simply by the low levels of serotonin. So it's a little bit more deeper than the neurotransmitter. Medication is targeted to the neurotransmitter of norepinephrine, that's another hormone, and dopamine may also elevate depression and reduce the levels of neurotransmitter GABA. That's like glutamine, that's a receptor that it receives from specific hormones, have been reported in patients with depression. Other research of the biology of depression focus on the potential role of inflammation and the makeup of the microbiome in the digestive system in the development of the conditions. Again, inflammation, so we're talking about disruption in the microbiome. We're talking about these hormones, we can go into a little bit more. So they have, it just says it all. Grey matter, what's grey matter? Grey matter is 40% of the brain, all around the brain, 40% around the brain that contains most of the brain neural cell body, which is what you call the soma. So the grey matter is that it's a top layer of your cortex, your brain. It's a top layer. That's where the cell body is just like a normal cells have the mitochondrial, the nucleus, the endoplasmic reticulum, and etc. So that grey matter is where the thinking happens. The white matter is the connection.
So bridge them together.
The bridge to wherever it needs to connect to. So it's like having having the thinking on top of your brain,
And then the other bit brings
the
it to
thoughts
the-
and the thoughts get sent down into the white matter
And then bring
to
it to where it needs to.
where it needs to go.
Mm.
That's exactly what it is. So it contains the brain, neural cell body, serves to process information, fully develop once a person reaches her age of 20s. Yeah, white matter makes up of the bundle which connects various grey matter area. So this is the connections again, allowing communications to form grey matter areas between the grey matter and other parts of the body, develops through the 20s and the peak in middle ages. Exactly what I was just saying. That's like when it comes to that, it's an axon into your dendrites. That's exactly what it is. So yeah. Bam. So we got specific areas where you would find
Of where it function in the brain.
this is where they can determine
What part of the brain of the.
and what type of disorder that you might be feeling. Yeah. So as you can see, that part here is what you call the parental lobe. So this is where your brain area, axis area here. Here is your frontal lobe, your exclusive functioning. That's why it might deal with schizophrenia, which makes sense. Bipolar is kind of like around your temporal lobe, parental lobe. That's the occipital lobe. This is what the brain that we were just speaking about.
Yeah.
So this is panic disorder, paranoia. More of your thinking lobe. This is near the middle. So we've got the brain stem there and the emotional area. That's your thalamus and etc. And this is where the pineal gland is. So you got a lot of stuff, and this is where your motor output occurs as well. So any malfunctioning happening within that area will trigger off anything that deals with your body system.
That function and that.
Yeah, your movements. As you can see, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. This is just a understanding of how they work out things.
Yeah.
They know
Depending on which area of the brain is.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is how solutions are made. They're not made by having a concept of some phenomenon outside this area. It's controlling it. They deal with solutions by attacking a certain part of your lobe and understanding this is the area that it needs help. Bam. Picture.
Yeah, brain scan.
Brain scan. Vision.
Yeah, look at the eyeball pop out, boy. That must be
That's the brain, yeah, that's the eyeball, that's the nasal, connected what? That root there, that's the root there.
Look at the one in the middle, boy, them eyeballs popping
Optic
out,
nerve, the optic nerve is your eyes and the information that gets transferred all the way back to your occipital lobe.
Yeah, so it's like receiving, go back to the brain, process it, and
then come back out.
Yeah.
Exactly how it goes. So as you can see, these highlights are the areas that are affected in the brain. This is how they decipher exactly what part of the brain.
What's functioning, what's working, and that.
Exactly. So it's not. The thing is like when we deal with actual sources, you get it, yeah, or actual scientific methods, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no debating it.
Yeah, because right there you can see.
It's right here. This is how they do it. This is the picture that comes up when people are going through disorders. So how we treat people is going straight to physical.
Yeah.
It's tangible evidence.
Yeah.
We're not, and that's what we have to just knock out of our community, bro. All this pseudo shit.
Yeah. You have to, research and fucking wait.
These phenomenons that we love to talk about doesn't play no role in reality.
Healing the thing, yeah.
And this is what I'm trying to say. Pseudoism has to be killed, bro. And a lot of our black community love this pseudo. Like I'm gonna say it, like even up to consciousness, chakras, and etc. Yeah, but when it comes to actual doing the footwork,
you can't.
And helping people, consciousness, talking about consciousness, is not gonna treat no one with mental disorders, bro. They stop that. Chakras ain't gonna help no one, bro. Like chakras, but people can't even explain what the hell it is, blood.
So how you gonna refer it to how it's gonna help someone?
Fucking weirdo shit, man. That's why it's sometimes, bro, it's just very frustrating, but you know what I mean? Again, look. A diagram.
Brain, depression. I want one of these scans worth.
But this is what Eazi does. Can you see the effort that I make to actually come with some tangible shit while people just get on a mic and start rambling, not providing nothing.
You can see what's functioning from normal brain to depression, what's that. That's why them only things ain't functioning. Bipolar, got schizophrenia, got madness, OCD, got madness. With depressed. Oh yeah, that's the same as that one up there. Yeah.
Depressed and not depressed.
I was gonna say that depressed one there, that's the same as the second one up there still.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
And these are from different sources. It's not from one.
Yeah.
I put them together.
Yeah.
This is what you called tangible evidence, brother. Like, please, when Eazi does something here, or even speak about something, just know that it's rooted in something that's solid. You know what I'm saying? Scientific theories. When I'm talking about the cyanobacteria, I'm talking about 3.5 billion years ago. Oxygen never existed on this earth. That's the birth of oxygen or microorganisms, cells, prokaryotic, eukaryotic, everything. But let me just show you how relevant. When I go back to 3.5 billion years is in dietary, bro.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Brother.
What's that one as well again?
I'm not number, you know what it is? I'm gonna give it a scientific name. Obviously, when it get released, yeah, people's gonna polish out and Google it,
yeah.
and then this is the actual. I'm gonna tell you, yeah, this is life. This is cyanobacteria, brother. This is exactly what I was saying. That lived 3.5 billion years that contributed oxygen on this earth. People think, why am I going back to the origin of life?
Yeah, what's that thing?
I'll give you some. I'll give you some. I'll give you some. I'll give you some. The actual power product from Eazi put in there.
Oh, what you mix it with?
Anything, water.
Oh yeah, but
this is with sea moss, everything. I'm gonna give you some powder. Yeah.
Mix that.
But I live this. This ain't something that I just talk about. I live it. I'm drinking live bacteria that goes back to 3.5 billion years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing to repair the shit still.
So when everyone's just debating, rambling and chatting with no solution, bro.
Yeah.
Look, I'm showing you here. That's evidence. That's MRI scans that showed you exactly what occurs when people have those
certain conditions.
But consciousness is not in this. Oh yeah, so scientific term for this is what you call the phycocyanin. Yeah, this is gonna be my new CMOS. Yeah, Eazi herb. Look out for it. Blue, quick blue. Out here. Cyclocyanin. Anywho, let's get back to it. Bam. No, I'm going back. I'm going. No, wait, broski. Oh, no. Going too much, bro. Oh, what's Eazi doing?
One more back, I think.
Is it back? Yeah, back. Alright, cool. So now we're talking about the system, the pathways, yeah? Pathways. So we know that this system is created by the microbiome. It's what you call the primitive gut, the same way that the brain and the central and the peripheral nervous system is created by the neural tube. Primitive gut create all these organs, glands, yeah? All of these glands, adrenal glands, pancreas, and all that, they all harbor messages, which is called hormones, yeah? Hormones is its messages. So, for example, for this to communicate to the brain, for it to function in a certain way, it has to send a message.
Yeah.
For you to feel that you're pissing, a message has to be sent to your brain. So you know that you need to go to the loo. It gets sent by the ovary gland, yeah? Pancreas. Pancreas holds insulin. Insulin, with the help of glucose, etc. into your bloodstream, produces insulin. They help your cells open up the gateway for you to use glucose as ATP. Thalamus, another one, part of your thalamus is part of your lymph nodes. Yeah, part of your lymph nodes, which is your lymphatic system. Yeah, pineal gland, again, another system that opens up messages for within inside the brain, hypothalamus and etc. This is what you call the endocrine system. That's the pathway. Yeah, vagus nervous system, another system that covers what. So it's outside. Remember, primitive gut created it. So the gut system created these organs. So that's the link. The link is called the endocrine system. So the gut can communicate or get messages from all your organs.
All that other, yeah.
But now the vagus nervous system is not the primitive gut, but it's created and it's attached to all your organs.
Oh, yeah.
But it's harboring your intestines. So we've got two pathways that can communicate straight from the microbiome to each part. And that's to your what? Your brainstem.
Yeah.
And that's look, small intestine, large intestine. Again. So you have two gateways that messages can be sent directly. Crazy. Crazy. Okay. Chemistry of life. Emotional and chemistry of hormones. What's hormone game? It's messages. Mania, anxiety, happiness, etc. 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 Stress. Boom, 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 boom. What's the soul?
So it's like showing what's low. This is basically giving what you will feel depending on what's lower and what's higher.
Basically, nah. Yeah and no. It's basically saying a mania, if you got high mania, that means you're getting a lot of dopamine.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah. Anxiety, part of dopamine.
You got low dopamine, you got anxiety.
Yeah.
If you've got a balance of serotonin and endorphins, you're happy.
Yeah, but carry on.
Was it noradrenaline? I've never heard of that. Oh, that's the anger.
What's it made out of? Low adrenaline. Oh yeah, adrenaline. Yeah, adrenaline. Look, you get me. Stress. If you're stressed, you stress. You got noradrenaline, adrenaline, and
low dopamine. And what's the green one?
Low dopamine and green one is serotonin.
Is it light green?
Light green. It could be prolactin. Yeah.
Depression means what's that high blood when you got high melatonin, everything else low blood. So you need dopamine, you need serotonin, you need adrenaline.
Yeah, but have you ever seen something like this though? Like for someone to this, like for me to show you, look,
showing what leads to them. What do you call it? States basically.
Depression means you got melatonin, high melatonin, where you got there.
Yeah, but everything else.
Astral, low serotonin and low dopamine. That causes depression. I'm telling you, as I was gonna say, bruv, I don't wanna I don't know, people just don't go in that deep. They don't do it like easy. That's your levels of the messages that get sent from your microbiome or your organs. Because remember, like I said, the primitive gut comes from your gut and it creates the organs. So every message that comes from organs has a direct link to your microbiome. Yeah? And this is what causes the depression levels, stress levels, autism, fear, sadness, irritation, etc. Goes in there. Fight or flight. Again, hell, love, depression. These are the signals, the messages that make you do that. If you don't get these signals, you would not be able to feel these emotions.
Yeah.
Like, I can't make it no clear and simple. Neuroscientists and people do not speak about this.
Yeah, no.
They don't. Everything is being created or has a direct link into your microbiome. Bacteria. Microbiome. Bacteria. That you and a lot of people do not put into their dietary. I can't stress that a lot. I keep on saying that 90% of serotonin is made by your microbiome, 50% of dopamine. These are the happy feelings. People just think I'm capping when I just talk. You have to feed them. Your dietary shouldn't. Your dietary should be microorganisms. You should be feeding yourself bacteria and not attacking them. Bro, and you have to have the understanding of the origin of life to come up with these concepts.
Yeah.
It's mad. But anywho, we go straight on to the next. Again, just to have a basic understanding of what dopamine does. A pleasure neurotransmitter. Serotonin, the mood. Concentration is noradrenaline. Adrenaline, fight or flight. GABA, calming. Learning transmitter is acetylcholine. Glutamine, memory. Norepinephrine, neurotransmitter, bro.
Endorphin.
Read it yourself. Eazi, like Eazi does enough. I put it out. I show you the information. I don't need to pronounce every word for me not to understand exactly what I'm putting up, bro. I created this presentation, so I must have an understanding of exactly what's going on for me to create and put everything to connect dots. Sorry, so if Eazi slip up on pronunciation, then fair enough. It's a light work for me, bro. Light work. Again, another diagram that shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Encourage it a little bit more. It shows you the part that what I was saying about what hormone comes out of what organ. Pineal gland, many, yeah, oxytocin, etc. There's many. Melatonin comes out of your pineal gland. The hypothalamus, dopamine, some bit of dopamine, so sustained and vessels suppressed. Everything is there for you to read. The thyroid and etc. You know, TA, liver, insulin, growth factor, and etc. Adrenaline, adrenaline. I can't pronounce it either. But anywho, many more. Kidney. Yeah, erythropoietin. Erythropoietin helps out with the building of red blood cells. Testing again. These are the organs: insulin, pancreas, stomach acid. There's many, adrenaline, and etc. Bam. This is So again, anxiety behavior. What does it do? We're taking it straight back to the microbiome. Anxiety and stress behavior. What represses cortisol and adrenochromatosin, and then produces it's crazy. And it produces serotonin, dopamine, comes out your microbiome. Let me try to understand exactly what this picture is saying. So like I said, I rushed this thing, but exactly so repression. What's it saying? Is it saying that the low repression of cortisol is produced, and then the microbiome sends out serotonin,
like a life cycle thing or something?
Yeah. And mating of species and recognition of behavior. So acceleration of pheromone levels up and down get sent by microbiome. Lipids and adrenaline levels accelerated up, metabolism and appetite. Suppression of GLP-1, metabolism. This is all comes out. This is basically showing you what comes out the microbiome. Your stress and anxiety behavior comes out your microbiome. Mating and species recognition behavior comes out your microbiome. Gender, estrogen, because you know the gender is like gender. You know, estrogen and testosterone comes out the microbiome or celebrated. Yeah, immunity. We're talking about the immune cells, the immune system. Is the microbiome. Metabolism and appetite out of your microbiome. Yeah, that's the levels of what your microbiome is and how it contributes to your life and your existence. Yeah, deep. So a source kind of speaks a little bit more about it. We're talking about the psychobiotics. Your microbiome has the potential to improve your mental health, not just your gut health. That's a source. Source it up, read it. Abstract. The psychobiotics were previously defined as live bacteria, which when ingested offers a mental health benefits. Interaction of the commensal bacteria when expanded in the definition to compose prebiotics, which enhance the growth of the beneficial bacteria. We review the probiotics and the prebiotics effects on emotional, cognitive, systematic, and neural variability relevant to the health and diseases. We discussed that the gut-brain signaling mechanisms enable the psychobiotics to effects such as metabolites production. Overall knowledge of how the microbiome responds to the exogenous influence and remains limited. Yeah, we tabulate several important research questions and issues, explore of the which will generate both mechanistic insights and facilitate future psychobiotics. Okay, jumping into the overall. Let me see. Okay, we read that part, innit? Okay. And then it goes development. We suggest that the definition of psychobiotics be expanded beyond probiotics and prebiotics to include the other means of influence of the microbiome. Okay, this is a source of just letting people know. It goes back to what it was saying. That's another source I'm actually reading. I'm combining two sources. Jesus Christ. But anywho, so that's a source of psychobiotics and the manipulation of gut bacteria access to the signal brain. I just read that. The title that I read before is a source that talks about now research is providing evidence that you have an extra reason to treasure the microbes living in the depth of your bowels, and if they are happy, you are happy too. So really, I don't know why I done that, but I did that. Mistake made by Eazi. Yeah? To inherited fucking mad words, man. Sounding ideas that what happens in your intestine affects your mood has now got scientific backing, and it's become clear that it's your gut bacteria that are doing the communication with your brain and affecting your state of mind. So before they were just saying it, but now they got scientific backing. Yeah, scientists are providing evidence for this link, which is referred to as the micro gut bacteria axis. Not only that, but they are showing that the altering of the microbiome by administering probiotic, which is live bacteria supplements, prebiotics, which is the fiber that help it, you can actually improve stress response, reduce anxiety, mitigate the effects of other mental health problems. That's that source. So that source there that is read, you can go into that. It's called the Psycho Healthy High Fiber Diet. Creates what? Bifidobacterium. That's just one of the good ones. The other, there's many, there's trillions. Short chain fatty acids, the good ones, and it's anti-inflammation and anti-anxiety. Anxiety. So you can see how different foods produce different bacteria that cause different problems. Now we're going to food, nutritional, psychiatric, food for the brain. That's the source there. Go into it, check it out. The foods that you eat can affect your mental health. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that regulates sleep and appetite, meditate moods, and inhibit pains. Since 95% of the serotonin is produced in your gut, and the gas is lined with the 100 million nerve cells and the neurons, it's easy. It makes sense that the inner works of the digestive system don't just help you digest food, but it also guides your emotions. What's more, the functioning of the neurons and the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin is very highly influenced by the billions of good bacteria. I need to go in more. And then finish off there. Bam, bam, bam. Nutrition plate. What does this mean for you? To end of that source, start paying attention to how you eat. This is what the source talk about. This is from Harvest. Yeah, this is all Harvest. Harvard Health by blog. Yeah, up to date sources 2022. It says start paying attention to how you eat or what you eat, not just in the moment, but the next day. Try eat a clean diet of 2 or 3 a week. That means cutting out all the processed foods and sugar. See how you feel and then slowly introduce foods back into your diet. I don't know about that, but one by one and see how you feel. Or actually I say test to see how it goes. When someone goes clean, they cannot believe how much better they feel physically and emotionally, and how much worse they feel when they reintroduce the bad foods. They know to enhance
In the information.
That's Harvard.
Mm.
Again, nutrition and mood. 2 fruits, 5 vegetables, whole grain, seedless, and all helps the microbiome. I don't see no meat there, but anywho, not to ban on meat, but still. Bam, more food that can help. Brain threats, brain protectors. As you can see, you see cheese up there, innit?
Yeah.
You see fried chicken, trans fat, saturated fat. Saturated fat attacks your microbiome, etc. Trans fat, you know what that is. It's excess oil, excess copper, aluminum. You need some B12, you need sweet potato, you need green leaf, you need grapefruit, chickpeas, and etc. Venom E, nuts, and etc. You got almonds, broccoli. I wouldn't utilize these type of things, but this is give you an idea of what you need to.
Healthy kind of stuff.
Brazil nuts is high in selenium. Walnuts is the brain food. Selenium again. Almond nuts, protein, etc. This is all antioxidant fruits that get rid of free radicals. So this is like easy presentation, you know.
What do you mean done?
That's done, bro.
Is that last
Avocado, fatty acids helps.
Okay.
Fatty acids, that's what you need for your brain. That's like all the fatty acids. That's all the what's it called?
That's what
The EPA, LAA, AA. Oh, I can't fucking, bro. I'm done. Easy done, bro.
Yeah, that's what do you call it? Nothing for on there though. And give everybody the what do you call it? The background of why it's needed in regards to healthy diet to help the microbiome.
Exactly. This is just the foods that you want to introduce, and like I said, the microbiome, the prokaryotic organisms like the capsules that you can buy feed your microbiome. Pop them in the morning, go out and look out, and then you want to have the foods that feed them, not the foods that destroys them. So that's why when I say there's no point going out your way to eat healthy, if you're no point going out the way to eat healthy if you're good, like for example having CMOS, and then you're just gonna flood it with junk.
The bullshit after,
Because
it's not gonna work, innit?
It's not gonna work to the full potential. It might feed your cells certain nutrients that you've been absent with, but when it comes to curing any diseases or anything, any problem that you have, if you're consuming the same foods that are causing us to be active in the first place, it ain't gonna sort out nothing.
Change the whole diet.
You have to change it. So that's Eazi's build, and I think it's been good. But most of my presentation is a lot of work that I put into it. So, like I said, I kind of rushed this one. The source is all there. I hope the people appreciate the information I give and actually understand when I talk about certain things like microbiome, and this is how crucial the information about it is.
Take it in and on board. I definitely need to.
You know what I mean? If you ain't talking about the microbiome, if you ain't talking about the gut bacteria, then as a nutritionist, you shouldn't claim to be one. You know? So I think Eazi's done now. Big up OE for the sit down to listen to the whole content, because there's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's easy to follow through as well, blood. And again, they can refer back, look through that to see what they could use to help in them.
And source up, all the sources are named as well, so you can read back. You don't have to, you know what I mean? Some of the pronunciation was quite big, some of the words are very big, you know. So definitely, man. But Eazi's out. Make sure you like and subscribe. Appreciate the work, the effort that I put in for the community. And then Eazi's out, man. Salute, 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 salute.
Big up, blood.